Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the City Roosters Diehards. It is Hainsey here, and we're here for your game day news roundup as the Roosters take on the Cronulla Sharks tonight, kicking off at 5:30 on the East Coast, 3:30 local time in Perth. Obviously, doubleheader there at Optus Stadium in Perth. Raiders and the Rabbitohs, I think the first game from 3:30 here on the East Coast, 1:30 local time. We're going through the latest Roosters news as we get closer to kickoff. Obviously, I'll be live on my personal channel, Hainsey_T, tonight from 5 p.m. as we go through your watch long, and then after the game we'll be back on here on the Roosters Diehards for your match reaction and player ratings video. So a lot of content coming your way today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, give us a follow on the Instagram for your latest Roosters news, updates, and opinions. Thanks for watching, and let's get straight into it. So got a few quotes from Trent Robinson and around with Bradley and Leniu returning this week, with the Perth Bears arriving in 2027, the game in Perth, and what to expect, and with the game going to Western Australia, and as well have some signing news around Reece Foley, and a bit of a quote around Daniel Tupou around his play future as well. So a few things to get through in the next few minutes or so. So start off with Trent Robinson. Obviously, was asked yesterday in his match preview / captain's run coach media, asked about the game in Perth and all that kind of stuff. So obviously was speaking about, the preparation. Obviously had preparations like similar in round one when we went over to New Zealand. Obviously we've had Vegas, World Cup challenges. So obviously adapting to long haul travel for games is not new for the Roosters. Obviously very, very, I think we went to Perth in 2023 and it's very, very similar how we went about it as well. So obviously we're used to it, and obviously getting to the fact that next year the Perth Bears are going to be arriving. So obviously when we're trying to expand the game to parts of Australia and PNG, so obviously the travel and all that kind of stuff and the preparation and how that's all going to play out. But obviously Trent Robinson speaking about how we're used to this kind of stuff. So very important to know. And obviously as well, coming off a 16-day break by last week, so it gives us the perfect preparation going into this clash today. And obviously about the game itself, it's great to know that obviously we expand the game. Obviously, with the Perth Bears next year, really excited for the Perth Bears to arrive in the competition next year. Obviously, expanding the game to the west coast of Australia, it's going to be massive. Now we can fully say that it's rugby league. Rugby league is a sport that covers the whole country, not just the east coast. Now we can expand like to Melbourne, like we have with Melbourne in 1999, and now with Perth. It's going to be exciting, and obviously New Zealand and PNG in 2028. So obviously expanding, the full length of Australia and the Pacific as well. It's just going to be great for the game. So I'm really excited for when the Perth Bears arrive to the competition in 2027. And obviously it's a great opportunity as well for, the Roosters fans, not just Roosters fans. Obviously there's a doubleheader there today. So not just Roosters fans, South fans, Raiders fans, Sharks fans who live in WA or, that part of Australia, even, like South Australia, Northern Territory, not too far away from Perth. It's a great opportunity for them to watch their team play live in person. Obviously, from experience, living in Brisbane for pretty much my whole life, the Roosters were never sort of a team that played in Brisbane all the time. So I remember especially between 2005 to 2014, we only played at Suncorp against the Broncos once, and that was in 2010. The other one was the semi-final against the Titans in 2010. So apart from that, we barely even played the Broncos. Not only that, they barely played against the Titans at Seabus. So not just Brisbane, but South East Queensland. I think we've got 3 games in 10 years or something like that. So I understand the feeling of, not being able to go to games regularly. And that's why I'm a big, that's why I started doing this content, because I was sort of a fan back in the day where I wasn't able to go to home games and experience the atmosphere in that week to week. And that was what my channel was about. To provide atmosphere and provide what it's like to go to a game that you live from afar. So it's a great opportunity for, those Western Australian fans to go out there and support their team this weekend. It's going to be exciting. So, and obviously going to be a great weekend ahead. So I would love to be over there, and hopefully next year if we do take the Bears on in Perth, I'll be over there and be an awesome experience. So I'm really looking forward. So if you guys are out there today, enjoy it, and give us a tag on the Roosters Diehards on Instagram. We'll love to reshare it and share your experience with us. It'd be fantastic. Also, Robbo spoke about the return of Spencer Leniu and Victor Radley. More importantly, Victor Radley. Obviously, Victor Radley has been suspended from pretty much the entire start of the year due to a club suspension from last year. Robbo was obviously addressing the media about it. I think a lot of things I've taken away from Radley in the absence of him is that the club, the players, and the coaching staff have all had the high praises of Victor, on how he's dealt and managed the situation. Obviously, he felt like he's let the club down, he's let the fan base down, and in a way, yes, obviously, what it is, it happens. We all make mistakes, so we're never perfect. So, but like obviously, getting something, getting blasted in the media that was a private setting, obviously, not ideal. But at the end of the day, it's happened. Victor's, accepted his sanction, and how he's accepted all responsibility for his actions, and he's made himself a better person for it. And a lot of the players feel that way, that that he's came back with a different attitude and different, and how matured over the whole thing. That's great, and it feels like Robbo's saying that he's felt like he's let his teammates down and let the club down, and he's worked hard over the time away, and now that he's back, he wants to put them in the right direction, and that's going to be great. And I'm really excited to see Victor back out there, and obviously he means so much to his fan base and to his club, and and the team as well. So I'm really excited for Victor to get out there and back out there again. It's going to be really exciting. Same as well with Spencer Lenihan. Obviously Spencer was out in round one in the warm-up due to a hamstring injury. He's been out ever since, so it's great to have him back as well. And I think as a Roosters fan, I think we've all can agree that we've been waiting for this, that we're close to full, we're full strength apart from Billy Smith being injured. So, almost as full strength as we can get, and really looking forward to having all the band there ready to go, and hopefully we can put out a great performance against the Sharks today. Obviously, considering the fact that coming off a bye, of a great win against the Manly Seagulls a fortnight ago, I think it's really important that we back that up. And a win gets us into the top 8 this week, so must-win game to me, heading into a very busy period. As well, got some signing news. Reece Foley has set to re-sign with the club. Obviously, Reece Foley's been killing it New South Wales Cup over the last few weeks to start the year. Obviously, when Toby Rodwell's been sort of in and out of the New South Wales Cup side due to the fact that he's been sort of 18th, 19th man for the Roosters in first grade due to the absence of Hugo Savala, but he's made it home there in the 6th jersey. I think Jake Elliott was the half last year with Toby Rodwell. I think he's playing 9 alongside Benaya. So, really seen a lot of good things from Reece Foley. Obviously, I've been watching a bit of the lower grades through Bar TV Sports. I was actually at one of the games at Redfern Oval a couple of weeks ago. I'm really impressed with how Reece Foley's been playing this year, and definitely a star for the future. And obviously, I think it's re-signed until 2028. I don't have it's not official yet, but it's been hearing reports that he's set the re-sign until 2028. So that's some great news there. Heard a bit of a report as well that the Butcher brothers are on the way out as well, which I don't know what to make about that. There has been not much said either in the media about it. I did see it for a Roosters page, but to be fair, a lot of AI fake news going out at the moment, which is really pissing me off, to be honest, because and I never want to be that guy, never want to put out false information. When I get, I wait till a lot of people post before I post, because it's not all about, something's just been said on Instagram or on Facebook, I want to go post it because I'm going to be the first one there so I get the likes and comments. But no, I'm not like that. I want to know if it's real or not. And obviously I wait to Code Sport or Isaac Journalists or those guys put it out first before I put it out myself, because, you don't want to be that guy that makes false reports and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know how true this is, but hearing reports that it is, I'm not going to really speak about it too much in length, but look, you can't keep everyone at the moment, especially, with players coming through like the Fickettis and De La Salvatars and, Blake Steeps and all that. You can see the logic behind it, but, I'm a big fan of the Butcher brothers, and I know a lot of Roosters fans aren't big fans of Vegan Butcher, but I really do like what he does. And with Nat Butcher as well, I'm big fans of him, so I don't want to see him leave. I don't want to see any Roosters player leave. But obviously, I won't comment too much about it, but that's what I've heard at the moment, so I'll have to wait and see until there's more that come out. And finally, Daniel Tupou obviously spoke to the media around Tupes during the week, in particular around his playing future going ahead. Via the Daily Telegraph, Daniel Tupou in a quote: "Because of my age and where I am at in my career, the club knows my body better than I know myself, and they've been really looking after me in the last few years to try and stay healthy. So obviously, Daniel Tupou in the back end of his career, obviously he's off contract. As of right now, he can sign with rival clubs. He's on 1 year deals for the last year or two. Whether or not it is his final year or not, it's still up in the air. And like I said, it's all on him. And obviously the club, are going to do everything to make sure that, he goes on around for as long as he wants. Obviously Tupou has stated himself that he doesn't see himself in another jersey. So it's either he extends 1 more year or he retires. So selfishly, I know obviously Tupou is one of the most humble players in the NRL. And he doesn't care about accolades. It's more about team success. But I selfishly want him to be the second most top try scorer of all time and retires as a one club Rooster, who is the most capped Roosters player of all time, the top try scorer of all time for the Roosters, and another premiership as well. So, look, we don't want this day to come. We do not want to, when the day comes when Daniel Tupou announces his retirement, and it's going to make me cry and it's going to make a lot of Roosters fans cry. I just don't want that to be this year. I want that to be next year. So we know for the fact, obviously he's played, I think, game 294 today. And I know coming up, he's 300th. And I know in round 25 this year against the Tigers, if he plays every game from here on in, that will be the day where he breaks Jared Hargreaves and becomes the most capped Roosters player of all time. And that would be an incredible achievement. Look, Tubes is still at the peak of his powers at the moment. He's still playing some great football. And that's credit to the club. They're looking after Tubes and, especially as well when, at the time when, Jared was slowing down, the club looked after Jared and kept him going for more years and longer than he should have. And, I see no doubt with Tupou, and I sure see no doubt with Tedesco that they're going to get more, the way that they've looked after their senior players and veterans, can make them go longer than they expected. So hopefully it's not the final year of Tubes. I'm not saying that it is or it's not. It's still up in the air at the moment. It's all on Daniel Tupou. Whether or not he's had enough this year or he goes around for 1 more year, that's truly up to them, up to him. But, from what it looks like, that at the moment is still early days. But hopefully we get some more information soon. And hopefully that we go around 1 more year, Tubes, with another premiership, and he becomes the most capped Roosters player of all time. He breaks the 200 try-scoring record or club and passes Ken Irvine to be the second player to do so and retires as the second top try-scorer of all time behind Alex Johnson. That'd be a great way to go out. So, obviously, it's still early days with that one. That's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. As a reminder, we'll be live on my personal channel, Hainsey_YT, from around about 5 p.m. tonight for your watch-along kickoff at 5:30 p.m. here on the East Coast. And after that, we'll be live on the Diehards here for your match reaction and as well with your player ratings video. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys tonight at 5 p.m. Until then, bye for now. Not the choice.